everybody, it's Janelle here from MS Mommy Diary, and I am just here to talk about my milk supply, my breast milk supply, and what I did to get the amount of milk that I have now. It's not as much as I would like, but I'm pretty darn proud of it. So let me just get into a little bit of facts. I started pumping my milk and storing my milk when my baby was around about 2 weeks. I pumped on the second day of his birth because I was having trouble with him latching on. So I tried to pump milk out, but I didn't get anything. And I take that back. Actually, my first milk bag says, I believe it was September 23rd. So I actually started pumping and getting milk the third day. Ignore that first comment. So I started in the first week of him being born. Yeah. And so I've been pretty consistent. The last week was difficult because we weren't in the house as much as we had been. We were out and about, and I didn't pump as often as I should. And to be honest, I was just actually exhausted. So I took a slight pumping break unintentionally, so I didn't get as much milk as I have been getting. So I started off maybe getting 1 to 2 ounces out of each breast, and I was not very happy with that amount because I wanted to really build. I'm muting the TV because I hear this noise in the background. Sorry. Sorry. So I looked online and at all the different YouTube videos about building up my milk supply and what other women did, and I found some very helpful information. Now, I saw this one woman. If I can find her video, I will definitely link it below. But she was able to pump out 1,000 milliliters, which was 33 ounces in a day. I wanted to do that so bad. Tried to do that, but I couldn't. She was basically pumping every 2 hours, 24 hours, so never taking a break. She would rest for 2 hours and then get up and pump. I'm too exhausted for all of that, and I have to keep my health up for baby, and I need a little bit of sleep, even though I require a lot. I don't get a lot, but I need at least 5 hours. So I have to, at least 5 consecutive hours just to be able to function the next day. So I couldn't do it, but hats off to her because I thought it was amazing. But I did take away some of her tips. So her tips and others helped me kind of come up with my own guide to breastfeeding. No, pumping, sorry. What I did do was I took fenugreek and I drank water every time I pumped and every time in between. So all day long I was drinking water, and I was drinking my other beverages as well. And I just pumped every 2 hours. So baby would nap, I would pump, and then baby would wake up and he would feed. I also read and saw videos where it was encouraged to get into if you do the pumping while your baby is asleep, get in a shower to stimulate your milk for the next feeding. Because my biggest concern was always that, is he going to have enough milk when he wakes up? Am I taking away his milk? So I would do that. And then, sure enough, my milk would start to come down again. And so he was ready. It was plenty of milk there for him. So my supply started building up 3 ounces, 3 ounces every time I pumped, which was cool. I have the double breast pump. Let me see if I can show it to you guys, because I'm over here having coffee and I just got done pumping. But here is my oh no, sorry, you can't see that. Let me try to turn this around so you can see it. What's going on here? Can I get the pump in the picture? There we are. I have this pump. Okay. So, if you saw my house, I have laundry all around the house because we just did baby's laundry yesterday, and it's dry. I don't like it, so I hang them all over the apartment for the night, and then I get up and fold them. So I'm going to get to that in a little bit, just FYI. So anyway, that's my pump, the Medela Pumping Style Advanced, and it's double breast, so you can pump off of both sides. But what I was doing initially was trying to hold both bottles with my hands. Not a good idea. I couldn't, so I ordered one of those hands-free nursing bras. Best thing that I could have purchased, because it holds the bottles into place while you're pumping, so you don't need your hands. Obviously it's hands free, so it was great. So then at that point I'm able to pump both sides, and then actually when you're pumping both sides, I've read that it gives you more letdown. You get more milk from both breasts. I don't know how that works, but it does. And then at that point, now I'm getting 3 to 4 ounces off of each side. So I'm getting 6 ounces. Now this is on a full breast. I'll get to the point as to when I'm nursing him, and then I pump. So after a while, that was cool. But then I started doing more and more research. I'm like constantly researching about breast milk supplies and building up your stockpile. So I found so many tips that were so helpful. So I found a video where they were saying to, I think it was April Athena or April Justin TV, where she said that her lactationist told her to pump one side while the baby nurse is on the other side. So I attempted to do that, trying to hold my baby and hold the pump. Did not work. But I got the hands-free bra now, so I put the pump on one side as he nursed on the other. More milk came down. It was, I don't even know how, I don't understand how it works. I'm just glad that it does. And I was just grateful, because what they're saying, I think if both breasts are active, that is stimulating your breast to produce more milk. Don't quote me on that, because I don't know how accurate that is. However, it works, and I am so glad it did, because I was really starting to get a little sad because my milk supply wasn't building up to what I wanted it to be. So then on to that. So now I have my pumping going good and building up milk. So we're doing the storage thing, right? And that's the part I'm going to show you guys, my refrigerator. But here's the thing. I was storing it in the Lacinos bags, and I was storing them sitting up. Let me go take you in my refrigerator and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I am back to how I used to store my milk. So I would pump my milk, and then I would put it into a Lacinos bag. I would date it. So this one is from October 10th, and how many ounces? 5 ounces. So this is 5 ounces of milk. And I would just lay it in the refrigerator, anywhere. Lay it in the freezer, anywhere. And then I started to build them up. So I had little ones standing up like this in the refrigerator, in the freezer all around. Obviously this isn't the freezer, but it was still the same kind of, no, it wasn't the same setup at all. But it was still, I was still just freezing and standing up like this. So smarty me decided, hey, why not put it in a plastic shoe container that I had in the closet? Well, I couldn't find that shoe container. So what I did was went online, and Staples had these for $1.29, and it's just a shoe box, plastic shoe box. And this one has been broken when our refrigerator was changed out. But I put all my little bags that I had collected and put them down here. And then I dated the bag. I dated the box. So this is from September 27th through October 16th. Now remember, I told you he was born September 20th. So I started pumping when he was a week. Okay, hey guys, I'm back. I'm having the hardest time. My camera went out. So I'm back. I'm trying it with my iPod. We'll see how this goes. But okay, so I would pump all the milk and put it down in here. And then I would date it and store it up there. And then I decided to do some research on how to store breast milk. And what I discovered, that I was storing my milk wrong. As far as having it upright like that, that was incorrect. Sorry, food is dropping. That was incorrect. So what I found out you're supposed to do is actually store it flat like this. So I will put the milk in the bag, lay it on top of here, and then it would, this one is curved, I don't know why, but it probably got curved inside the box. Make sure nothing else like that. Okay. And so I would just put it inside of the box after it was frozen. And so then that way I can line them all up. Look at that. They're nice and neat and everything. And I have them in date order. And I put them in like this, and I turn them opposite directions so that they're, I can get more inside. So that's that. And then I dated it. Now this is my container from October 18th through October 29th. So it's about 10 days of pumping in here. I don't know how many ounces I have yet, guys. I haven't really looked. Okay, so that was great, right? Well, I started to realize that, hey, I'm pumping through all these bags like crazy, and I'm running out of room for these big, huge containers. I'm putting 5 ounces in each bag. It has to be a better way so that I can store more. Because what I'm thinking is when I do either stop breastfeeding him, stop pumping, then I'll just be using a lot more milk. So I decided to buy these mason jars. These are 16-ounce mason jars. And I just put milk in it. So throughout the day, I will pump milk into baby bottles. And then at the end of the night, I will pour them all into the mason jar if they added up to at least 12 ounces. And then I date those at the top. So you see this one? This one I think is 10. So this one is November 6th, 2014, and this has 10 ounces. So that's great. So when he starts going to my mom, I can just grab one of these down at night and thaw it out in the freezer and just pop this in the diaper bag on her way to her house. And she can just pour him bottles from here throughout the day. Now that was great, right? For big bottles. So I bought a 12-pack of those. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these so far that are filled with milk. Now I pumped, and this one is less, but I had already stored it in the jar, so I just kind of kept it there. No big deal. Here's my most recent pump from, actually no, that's not my most recent pump. Here's my most recent pump from yesterday. Now look, this says 12 ounces, right? But you see how far it's filled up to the top? So what they tell you to do is when you're using these is to not fill it all the way up to the brim because it could pop. So I really don't like to do more than 12 to 14 ounces in these. Even though they carry 16, I just don't want my glass to break, or I don't want to lose any milk. I would rather be more cautious than anything. So this one is up to the brim. It's 12 ounces. It's probably, yeah, it's 12 ounces because it's not all the way up to the brim. Sometimes I'll put a little tape around the edges just to make sure that my label is staying down with the date. Okay, so that's my supply that I have so far with the bags and the mason jars. Now these are out of order. I have to fix these. So I've been filling up this other container here. I have to go in here and see what date this is from because it just recently got filled. Because remember, I've just been using the mason jars also. So these are taking longer to get filled, the big containers. So now I have all of this milk with freezing it and laying it like this. I have some small ones with just 1 ounce to 2.5 ounces. I'm going to use that for his food because I do plan to make his food. So this will not go to waste. I do not want any of my milk to go to waste because I've worked very hard on this milk. Okay, so this date starts from October 30th, and the last date on this bag is November 27th. So this is almost a month worth of pumping and putting in a bag. It's less than what the other bags is because remember, I've been using the jars. I'm going to show you another storage that I've been using also. So, and we have been using some of this milk because my mom had to keep him up one day, and I did have to take some milk out for her to use. So here we are. Put this back up here. These are my other little babies that I really like. These are 4-ounce jars, right? Mason jars. And these are for candy. So they can be frozen safely as well without the glass breaking or And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these back there, and there's one at my mom's house, so I have 5 of these, and they're 4 ounces. They range from 2.5 to 4 ounces, right? So that's another thing. I like these a lot because I know that this 4 ounce is 1 bottle for him. So just say that he needs a bottle for the day, because he takes between 3.5 to 4 ounces each feeding. So I can just pop a couple of these in my bag and go. Or if he just needs 1 bottle, I can pop that in there. And normally what I did when I did have to use this, I pumped the bottle in the morning, and then I took one of these in my diaper bag because I was only going to be on for a few hours. And that worked out great. And that's how one ended up at my mom's house, because he didn't need it. So she just kept it frozen at her house. Now, that is my supply. I don't know if that's a good supply for pumping for the past, he's 10 weeks old. I started pumping at 1. So for the past 9 weeks, is this considered a nice amount of milk? I don't know. I hope it is. But that's my supply. So I'll get back. I'll be back in 1 moment. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm sorry if the lighting changed on you guys, but I am using my iPod instead of my phone or my camera or my laptop. Anyway, yeah, so that's my supply, and that's what I've accomplished so far. And I'm just gonna stick to it. Like I said, the last week or so, week and a half or so, I have been slacking on the pumping because I've been tired. But I'm back at it this week because I'll be returning to work next week. So I plan to pump every 2 hours religiously. That's it, no sleeping. And I am taking the fenugreek, lots of water, still have my coffee, and I also heard if you drink 1 beer, that will help with your milk supply. So I'm going to give that a try as well. And I also take my prenatal vitamins. So my milk supply is pretty good, but I just want to increase it just a little bit more because of what I did last week. I'm not pumping out as much as I was before. So I got to get that back, and that's okay. So I hear the little guy over there wiggling, and if you have any questions or concerns about what I did, why I did it, how much I paid for things, just ask me, and I'll let you know. So that's my story on my milk supply for now. I will probably have a more in-depth conversation once I go back to work and see how pumping goes with that. But I love it. Breastfeeding my baby makes me so happy. The thought of not being able to makes me really sad. So if I'm not able to breastfeed him, I would love to have enough milk supply so that he can continue to get it. And if anything happens, I get sick or whatever, the milk is there. So yes, I will keep pumping. I am a pumper crazy. So let me know what you think about my stockpile. If you think that is a good amount, like did I do a good job, or what does your milk supply stockpile look like? Just let me know. Okay, all right, have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, bye.